Hello my loves, Toni here from TL Yarn Crafts and welcome to part 4 of the Frost and Bloom Crochet-along. This week I have something new for you that is going to take your crochet skills to new heights. So strap in, grab your hook, and let's get to it. But before we can dive in, of course we have to recap what we've accomplished so far. Now since week 1, we've covered 8 different motif designs from the simple to the stimulating. We've taken a stroll through color, texture, and different stitches to bring us to the halfway point of our Aura Lapghan. At this point, your motifs are still disassembled and we have a few more to add to the bunch. Now part 4 is going to bring us less motifs to make, but you're going to need a steady hand and attention to detail to get these ones right. First, we'll start with the Sea Dog motif. Now I call it that because this final motif looks like the wheel of a ship, and a sea dog is an experienced sailor, and you're gonna feel like one when you finish this stack of motifs. And then we're gonna wrap up the day with the Snowflake motif, which uses structured tapestry crochet to mimic the delicate nature of a snowflake. By using the dark and the light versions of our colors, we're really gonna make those snowflakes pop. This week's hexagons put me in the mood for winter adventures, so I wanna know, what is your favorite thing to do when the weather turns cold? Now, if I'm gonna be outside, I am throwing snowballs at my nieces and nephews. They really can't get enough. But if it was up to me, we're gonna be indoors with hot cocoa piled high with marshmallows. And what about you? Do you prefer indoors or outdoors when the weather turns cold? Tell me everything down in the comments. Now these hexagons aren't gonna crochet themselves, so go ahead and grab your hook and let's get down to the Sea Dog motif. The first hexagon we're looking at today is called Sea Dog, and Sea Dog is actually a term for like a veteran sailor, somebody who pilots ships. And I thought that this hexagon looked like a big wheel on a ship. So I named it Sea Dog and I'm super excited to share this with you. Let's get started. For most of your motifs, you're going to need 2 colors, so the light and dark of a certain color plus your main color. For some of them, you'll need an additional color, but either way, don't cut your yarn until you're done with those colors in your motif. So continue to carry those, and I'm going to show you how to do it. We're going to start off with our lighter color. And here in round 1, we're going to make a magic ring. You should be a pro at these by now. So we're going to start with inserting our hook into the ring, yarn over, and pull up a loop to start, and we'll follow that with a chain 1. Now the next thing that we have to do is put several clusters into our magic ring, and here's how we'll do the cluster. So we're going to yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, then yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops again, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 to complete your cluster. And we're going to follow that with a chain 2. So we're going to do that 6 times. So we have 1 so far. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on the hook. And then I like to tighten down just a little bit before I do my chain 2. One more time together. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, 3 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 of those, tighten down just a little bit, optional, you don't have to, it's just habit for me, and then follow that with a chain 2. So we want to do that until we have 6 total clusters in our ring. So I'm going to keep going, you too, and then join me at the end. And there we go. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 clusters. I'm going to drop my hook out, grab my tail, and pull, pull, pull until I close my ring. And then I need to close up my round. So we're going to join with a slip stitch in the first cluster. So if we take a look, our first cluster is here, and I'm going to grab these 2 loops of the cluster with this color, yarn over and pull through for your slip stitch, and then we need to get over to this chain 2 space here. So I'm going to insert into that space, but we also need to change color. So I'm going to drop my light brown and grab my dark brown to get me set up for round 2. So I'm just going to yarn over, pull through for a slip stitch, and now I'm set up to work with my light brown. And remember that we are not going to fasten off our light brown at this point. So let's get going with round 2. Now that we're set up with our second color, we can move on to our second round. We've already slip stitched into our chain 2 space, so we're going to begin with a chain 1 to start, and then we need to put 4 half double crochets in this same space. So here we go. Yarn over, pull up a loop in the space, yarn over, pull through all 3. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4 half doubles, all into that same starting space. We're going to follow that with a chain 2, and we're going to do that in each space around. So in this next chain 2 space here, we get 4 half doubles. 1, 2, 3, and 4, followed by a chain 2. Go to the next chain 2 space right here, 4 half doubles. 1, 2, 3, and 4. One more time together, chain 2, 1 and 2. Next chain space, 4 half doubles. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And follow that with a chain 2. Continue that for the last few spaces. Join me at the end and we will finish up together. After my last set of 4 half doubles, I need to chain 2 again, and then I'm going to join with a slip stitch in the first half double crochet of the round. So that was right here. So I'm going to just trace it up and find those 2 loops at the top and join with my slip stitch. I'm also going to change color here. So instead of joining with a slip stitch with the color I was using, which was my second color, I'm going to join with my first color. So yarn over, pull through to complete the slip stitch, and now I'm set up with my first color. So now we are all done with that round. Let's move on to round 3. Moving on to round 3, we are set up to work with our first color. So let's begin with a chain 1, and we're purposefully not going to single crochet in this stitch. Instead, we're going to single crochet in each of the next 3 half doubles. So not working in the stitch where we joined, but working in the next stitch. We're going to single crochet. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And now in this chain space here, we're going to single crochet 1, then we're going to front post double crochet around this cluster that is below the chain space. So yarn over, pull up a loop around the cluster. I like to just stick towards the top, pull up a nice tall loop, because as we complete that double crochet, we want it to be the same height as the rest of our row. And then we're going to place another single crochet into that space. Alrighty, so now we have 4 half doubles here. We're going to skip this first one. Single crochet in each of the next 3. So skip this one, starting here, single 1, 2, and 3. And then in this chain space, we get a single crochet, front post double crochet around this cluster down here. So remember, that's yarn over, pull up a loop around the cluster, pulling up a nice tall loop, yarn over, and complete the double crochet. See how tall that is? That's what we're looking for. And single in the space. One more time together. We're going to skip this first half double right here, single in each of the next 3. So there's 1, 2, and 3. In the space, we get a single, a front post double crochet around the cluster, just like that, pulling up a nice tall loop. Just loosen up on the finger that is holding your yarn and you should be able to get a tall loop and complete your double crochet, single into the space. So that's what we're going for. Complete that all the way around. Join me at the end and we'll finish up together. I've got one more chain space to go, so I'm going to start that with a single crochet, move on to my front post double crochet, making sure I get all the way around that cluster, pulling up a nice tall loop, completing my double crochet, and then finishing that up with a single crochet in the same space, making sure I don't grab any extra loops. Now I'm going to finish up with a slip stitch in the first single crochet of the round, and when I do that, I'm going to drop my first color and I'm going to grab my second color, yarn over, and complete that color change and the join. Beautiful. I just love how this one starts out. All of these front posts and these clusters just look so good together. So that is it for round 3. Let's move on to round 4. Now we're ready for round 4 and we are set up with our second color. We're going to start this with a chain 1 and then half double crochet in this same stitch here at the base of the chain. So we're dipping right down into that same stitch and completing a half double crochet, and we're going to half double crochet in each of these next 3 stitches as well. So here's 1, 2, and 3. Next step, we're going to chain 2 and we're going to skip this post stitch. So now we're moving on to the stitches between the posts where we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 single crochets, and we're going to half double in each of those 5 single crochets. So here's the first one, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 more makes 5. When we reach the post stitch, we're going to skip that post stitch, chain 2, half double in each of the next 5 stitches. So skipping the post, we've got our next single crochet right here. That gets a half double. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's the repeat all around. Chain 2, skip the post, half double in each of the next 5. Repeat that around. Join me at the end and we'll finish up together. I'm towards the end of my round here. I've got 1 more half double to put here. I'm going to chain 2. Now, if you remember at the start of the round, we only have 1, 2, 3, 4 half doubles. We need a 5th one, and that's going to go in this stitch right here, which is just on the other side of our post stitch. So I'm gonna tuck a half double into that stitch and just tighten that down a little bit. And now I'm going to join in my first single crochet of the round. So find those 2 top loops. I'm going to drop my second color and grab my first, yarn over, and complete my slip stitch to end the round. And so this is what it should look like from here. And I can also fasten off my second color. We're all done with that. Now we're set up with our first color and ready to move on to round 5. All right, round 5, here we come. We start off with a chain 1, and then we're going to single crochet in the same stitch as our join. So right down in that same stitch right at the base of our chain, that gets a single crochet, and we're going to single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches as well. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Now at this chain space, we're going to put 2 singles, 1 and 2, and then front post double crochet around the post stitch 2 rows below. So yarn over, pull up a loop around that stitch, nice tall loop, and complete your double crochet. And then we need to put 2 more single crochets into this chain space. So going right on the other side of the post stitch we made and put 2 more singles there. Alrighty, now we're going to skip this next stitch here, and we need to single in each of the next 4. So skipping the first stitch, jumping right into that second stitch for 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're back at a chain space, so we're going to put 2 singles, 1 and 2, front post around the stitch 2 rows below. There we go. Pull up a nice tall loop and complete that double crochet, and then 2 singles in that same space, 1 and 2. One more time together. We're skipping this very first half double right here. We don't need to work into that. Instead, we're going to find the next 4 and put a single in each of those. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And at a chain space, again, we're going to put 2 singles, 1 and 2, front post double crochet around the stitch 2 rows below. So I'm just going around the body of that stitch, yarn over, pull up a nice tall loop to match the height of the rest of the loops on your hook, complete that double crochet, go back into the chain space. You can finagle it a little, you won't hurt it. 2 singles into this space. So repeat that around. Join me at the end. We'll finish up together, and then we just have 1 more round. Almost done with this round. I've got another front post to do. Complete that double crochet, 2 singles into the space. And now we're going to skip this half double here and join with a slip stitch in the first single of the round right here. And at this point, we can also fasten off this color. We're all done with it. That is round 5 done. And now we're ready to finish up with our border round, which is round 6. Our 6th and final round starts with me pulling this loop up and out to get rid of that color. And now we're joining in our main color. We are joining with a standing double crochet. So I'm starting with a slip knot on my hook. I'm going to yarn over, hold on to those loops, and I need to find any post stitch. Okay, so I'm going to start with this one. This one's pretty. I'm going to go here. So we're going to join with a standing double crochet in that post stitch. So find the loops right at the top of that stitch, go under both, yarn over, pull up the loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, and 2 again to complete the double crochet. From here, we're going to chain 2 and place another double crochet in that same stitch right there. Now we need to work along the sides. So we're going to double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. So starting right here, we're going to double crochet 1 into the next stitch for 2, and 1 more makes 3. We're going to put 2 double crochets in the following stitch. And this is just to get us to the correct count of stitches on our edge. So 2 go in there. And now we're going to double crochet in each of the next 4. 1, 2, 3, there we go, and 1 more makes 4. Now we're back at a post stitch right here. There's the top of it, so that's what we're working in next. It's going to get a double crochet, a chain 2, and another double crochet. Now remember, we're looking to have 11 stitches between chain 2 spaces. This is a good time to count. Make sure we're on the right track. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's why we have to put the increase here, because otherwise we'd be short a stitch, but we are doing great. Let's continue. So now we need to single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. So starting here, don't skip this stitch that's right here next to the one we just worked into. So there's 1, 2, and 3. 2 doubles in the next stitch, 1 and 2, right in that same stitch, and double in each of the next 4. 1, 2, 3, 3, and 1 more. Yep, makes 4. Now we're at that post stitch, and that gets a double, chain 2, and another double. There we go. I'm going to continue that around. That's the repeat. All 4 of these remaining sides will get the same treatment. So continue around, meet me at the end, and we'll finish up this hexagon together. Just a few more stitches to go here. 1, 2, 3. Yep, and 1 more makes 4. Ooh, it's double crocheting my whole life. Now we're going to join with a slip stitch in the first double crochet of the round, just like that. And now we can fasten off the moment we've all been waiting for. We'll give it a little bit of space so we can weave in that end. And look at that. Oh my gosh, it looks so good, just like the original. It's fantastic. All right, perfect. Now make sure you weave in those ends. Don't save them all for later. Don't make the mistake that I did, sweetheart. Do as I say, not as I do, okay? Go ahead and weave in those ends so you don't have to do it later. And then let's move on to our last hexagon of the bunch. The last full hexagon motif that we'll be working with is motif number 10, and this one is called Snowflake. I think it's so pretty and apropos for the season. So we are going to be working with tapestry crochet in this motif. Round 1 is worked with all the same color, but rounds 2 and 3, we're working with 2 colors in each of those rounds. So we're actually going to carry the yarns with us by working over the yarn as we make our stitches. So then that way we still have a reversible hexagon here. So let's get started. And as far as colors, you're going to need the light color and the dark color of whichever color you're currently working with. Just make sure you keep a close eye on the pattern. to see what colors you need to use for your hexagons. So I'm using my greens, and then of course I have my main color for my last round. So we're gonna kick things off with our magic ring in our darker color. Wrap it around that first finger twice, and then we're going to take that first wrap over the second wrap comes over the first, and pull. We're gonna flip the loop so that the knot is at the top, insert your hook, yarn over, and pull up a loop. So our first step is to make a starting cluster. So that begins with a chain 2, and then we're going to yarn over, pull up a loop in the ring, yarn over, pull up that loop, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. And then from there, we're going to yarn over, pull up a loop again, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. We have 3 loops on our hook, so we're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 of those loops. So that is our starting cluster. And from here, we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And now we're just going to make a regular cluster. So it's like the starting cluster, but instead of yarning over and pulling up a loop, pulling through 2 times, we're going to do that 3 times. So yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 once, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 twice, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 3 times. We now have 4 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through all 4 loops. And then I just like to tighten down a little bit, and we're going to follow that with a chain 3. 1, 2, 3. So we have 2 clusters so far. We need to have 6 total. So yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. For 1, here's 2, and 3. Yarn over, pull through all 4 loops on the hook, tighten down just a little bit, and follow that with a chain 3. Don't worry, we're going to do all of these together. So for the next set, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, yarn over, pull through all 4 loops, followed by a chain 3. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 clusters so far. Here's 5. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. One more time for 6. 1, 2, and 3. Yarn over, pull through it all. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now we can close the ring. So just pull that tail out the middle. Hold on to the knot and pull, 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 which closes the ring. Tuck that tail to the back of the work. Insert your hook back into the working loop. And we're going to join with a slip stitch in the top of the first cluster, which is right here. So we've got these 2 nice tall loops here. That's going to be the top of our cluster. Join with a slip stitch here. And then we're going to slip stitch into this next chain 2 space. So here's where we join, and we're just going to dip down into that space, yarn over, and pull through for slip stitch. And that completes round 1 of our snowflake hexagon. Looking good. Let's move on to round 2. For round 2, we're now moving into steps instead of just a full line of text. So let's follow it along together. So step 1, with our first color, which is currently attached, we're going to do a standing cluster, and all in this same space, we're going to do a standing cluster, a chain 2, and another cluster. So remember that your standing cluster starts with a chain 2. We're going to yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, then yarn over and pull through all of those loops. We're going to follow that with a chain 2, and then put another cluster in the same space. 1, 2, 3. So there we go with that cluster. Now from here, we do need to change color. So I am going to drop my current color and grab my second color, yarn over, and pull through all of these loops. So now my cluster is complete, but I'm set up to work with my next color. And as I work with my next color, I'm headed to my next chain 2 space, and I'm going to work over my first color, because I will work with my first color in this chain 2 space, just not yet. So my next step is to, with my second color, work 2 double crochet into this space here. So here's 1, working over that first color, and 2. And after making this stitch, I will need to change color again. So I'm going to drop that and grab my first color to complete that double crochet. And then in this same group, we're we're going to do step 3, which is with our first color, cluster, chain 2, and cluster again. So yarn over, working over my second color, I'm going to pull up a loop and make my cluster. So there's 1, 2, 3. So it's cluster, chain 2, and another cluster, all in the same space. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to need to change color again. So I'm going to drop this color and go back to my second color, just like that. So this is the repeat. So it's going to be 2 doubles in your second color, cluster, chain 2, cluster in your first color. So let's move on to the next chain 2 space, but again, working over the yarn of my first color. So we've got 1 and 2, double crochet there. Switching back to our first color, we're going to cluster, 1, 2, 3, pull up that loop, chain 2, and another cluster, 1, 2, and 3. We're going to change color, so going back to our second color, pull that through. And I just like to tighten down a little bit just to make sure everything is nice and neat. Let's do that one more time together. So I'm set up with my second color. I'm going into my next chain 2 space, working over the yarn of my color 1. So 2 double crochets, there's 1 and 2. Drop that second color, grab that first color. We've got a cluster, 1, 2, 3. Yarn over, pull through all 4 of those loops, follow that with a chain 2, and then another cluster, 1, here we go, 2, and 3. So I'm going to drop my first color and again move to my second color. So we're going to repeat this around. Join me when you get towards the end of the round and we'll finish up together. I'm making it towards the end of my round here. I have my 2 doubles and my first cluster followed by the chain 2 so far in this chain 2 space. I'm going to follow that with another cluster. So there's 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to yarn over with my second color. There she is, and pull through. Tighten that down just a little bit, and still working over my first color, I'm headed back to my first space here. So this is where I put my starting cluster, chain 2, and another cluster. I want to squeeze into here 2 double crochets, working in my second color, 1 and 2. And at the end of that, I'm going to yarn over with my first color to change colors, and then I'm going to join with a slip stitch in my first cluster. So right under those 2 loops right here. And then I'm going to slip stitch into the next space, and I'm going to bring my second color with me because we're going to need that again. There we go. And that completes round 2. I know that's a little tricky, especially if you've never tried tapestry crochet, but look at that effect. It looks so pretty. Awesome. Let's move on to round 3. Round 3 starts with a standing cluster, chain 2, and another cluster all in this first chain 2 space. So remember that our standing cluster starts with a chain 2, and working over that second color, we're going to pull up a loop, pull through for 1, and again for 2, yarn over, pull through all of those loops, followed by a chain 2, and then another cluster goes into this space. 1, 2, and 3. And now we're going to change color because in step 2, we're going to our second color. And that's why we carried it with us, just like that. Bringing that green along with us, we're going to double crochet into each of the next 4 stitches. Now the next 4 stitches are this cluster, this double, and this cluster. So here we go. Double in this cluster first. There's 1, always working over our first color. Double in the next stitch for 2, double in the following for 3, and double in the one after that for 4. Now after that, we are going back to our first color. So we're going to drop that second color, grab that first color, and complete the double crochet with it. From here, we're going to do our cluster, chain 2 cluster in this space here. Here we go. So a cluster, 1, 2, 3, into that space, yarn over, pull through everything, followed by a chain 2, still working over that second color, another cluster, 2 and 3. Remember, we're going to change color, so drop that first color, grab the second one, and pull through. And again, we're going to double crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. So just as a reminder, our first stitch is this cluster here, right? We worked into the space, so the next stitch is the cluster. So we're going under those 2 green bars right here with a double crochet. And then we'll go into the next 2 stitches with a double as well, 1 and 2. And then we have this next cluster here, which will also get a double. And remember to change color. Let's do that one more time together. So into this chain 2 space, we're going to do a cluster, chain 2, cluster, working over that second color. So here's the first cluster. There's 1, 2, 3. Yarn over, pull through everything. Follow that with a chain 2. And again, working over that second color, another cluster into that chain space. There's 2 and 3. Dropping that first color, we'll grab that second color, yarn over, pull through everything. I just like to tighten down a little bit just to make sure the tension is even, and then double crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. So there's 1, here's 2, here's 3, and 4. And I'm going to change color. So we're going to repeat this all the way around. Join me towards the end of the round and we'll finish up this round together and move on to round 4. Getting towards the end of my round here, and I've got my 3rd double and one more in the top of this cluster. Let's see if we can get in there. There we go. And we're going to complete that double crochet. And with our second color still attached here, we're not going to change colors because we're pretty much done with our first color. But with our second color, we're going to complete that double crochet and join with a slip stitch in top of the first cluster right here. And after we do that join, we can actually do what's honestly one of the most satisfying things to me for this whole project and fasten off that first color. We are all done with it. Get it on out of the way. And now going back to the front here, we can jump into round 4. Let's do it. Now that we've done all the hard work for this hexagon, it's time to go to something a little bit easier. So for round 4, we're going to begin with a chain 1 and single crochet in the same stitch as the join, which is the top of this cluster here. So single crochet here. And now it says to single crochet in each stitch to the next chain 2 space, but we are already at the next chain 2 space. And in here, we're going to put a single crochet followed by a chain 2 and another single crochet. Just that easy. Nothing fancy, no more color changes, we're done with it. Now we're going to single crochet in each stitch across to this next chain 2 space. So starting with this cluster here, we've got a single in each of these doubles here, which is 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we're going to single in the top of this cluster right here. Single goes there. Now we're at the chain 2 space, which gets a single, a chain 2, and another single. One more time together, single in each stitch across to the next chain 2 space. So single in the cluster, single in each of these 4 doubles, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Single in the next cluster, and then in the corner, single, chain 2, and another single. Just that easy. So we're just starting to put a nice trim on this in our accent color, and then for the next round we'll do it in our main color. So I want you to continue all the way around this same way. Single in each stitch across to the chain 2 space, single, chain 2, and another single in the chain 2 space. Meet me towards the end and we'll finish up together. The end is in sight. Just a couple more single crochets to do for me here. Wonderful. So I'm back at the beginning of my round and I'm going to slip stitch in this first single crochet here. And then I can actually fasten off this color. We are all done with it. And as you can see, we've got a nice contrast between our first color and our second color here. Looks so good. All right, perfect. Now we can move on to round 5, the easy peasy border. Here we go. We'll start round 5 by lifting this loop up and out, and we're going to join with a standing single crochet in any chain 2 space. So I'm going to pick this one here, make a slip knot, and place it on my hook. And my standing single crochet is going to go into this chain 2 space right here. So standing single crochet goes here, just like that. We're going to follow that with a chain 2 and another single crochet in the same space. From here, we're going to single crochet in each of the next 4. So starting with this single crochet right here, single crochet 1, 2, 3, and 4. Next, we're going to put 2 single crochet in the following stitch. So we need to do an increase here, again, just to make sure that we have the correct number of stitches between our chain 2 spaces. And follow that with single crochet 3. So here's 1, 2, and 3. Now we're at our chain 2 space, and we're going to single, chain 2, and single again. So single, chain 2, single again. As before, now is a good time to make sure that you have the correct number of stitches between your chain 2 spaces. So I'm going to find my chain 2 space here and count across, and I should have 11. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and there's my other chain 2 space right here. So we're on the right track. Let's continue moving right along to this next side here. So we're going to single crochet in each of the next 4. Here's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Work our increase. So 2 stitches in this next stitch, and then single crochet 3. 1, 2, and 3. And then in that chain 2 space right here, we're going to put a single, a chain 2, and another single, just like that. So we're going to repeat this all the way around. Join me when you get towards the end, and we will finish up this last hexagon design together. And here we are, friends, at the end of another hexagon. Just a few more single crochets for me to make here. 1, 2, and 3. Wonderful. And we're going to finish off with a slip stitch in the first single crochet of the round. Just like that. Pull through, and then we can fasten off. Oh, look at that. So pretty. Listen, save the best for last, right? This is a really good one. And that is part 4. In the books, darlings, we are getting ever closer to our finished Aura Lapkins. Be sure to double check the count on your motifs as you go. I do not want you getting to the finish line and realizing that you're a bit short. You should have stacks of 8 hexagons for each of the motifs we've covered so far, and we'll be adding to that next week. And since you're stitching with us, why not share your progress? Be sure to tag at TL Yarn Crafts and at Hobbii_yarn when you're posting on Instagram. And don't forget to use hashtag #FrostandBloomCow on every single one of your posts. I am having a blast sharing your posts and stories, so keep them coming. Now, part 5 of the cow looks a little bit different next week, but I think you'll appreciate the slower pace. Grab your neutral colors and get ready to choose your own adventure. I'll leave you to guess what that means, and all will be revealed next week. Until then, I'll see you later. Bye.